Ladies and gentlemen, it's been 2 whole years since my car got stolen, and this is exactly how it happened. So go ahead and grab you some popcorn and a juice box because it's story time. All right, so once upon a time, the story takes place 2 years ago. Now, there was these 3 Venezuelan men that walked into the church. And of course, us being the hands and feet of Jesus, we lend a helping hand. Matter of fact, we lend 2 helping hands because where we see need, we jumped in to help. Now, these men walked into the church. They didn't have any family members. They had just migrated from Venezuela to Houston, Texas, to be exact. So they came to the church and we decided to help them out. So we got them food, we got them some money, we got them some clothes. We even helped them out with a job. Yep. So they also needed a vehicle. And I've been selling cars since I was 18, so I happen to have a vehicle in my driveway. Me wanting to help them out, I offered this vehicle. Now, this was like a 2009 Honda Civic. I had just replaced the motor on it, so it was good to go. Engine, transmission were good, and I knew that this car would take them from point A to point B. Now, these 3 men, they were not bad men. They seemed like good people. So I told them, hey, if you guys need a car, I got you. I'm gonna help you out, right? So we ended up having a conversation. They came over to the house. We wrote out a contract, and I told them, okay, this is the contract and this is how it's structured. I told them that I would give them 6 months for them to get a job, get themselves back on their feet, and get a house, get a place to stay at. And after that, they can start making payments. $250, $300 payments. They say, no problem, we got it. So we sat down, we wrote out a contract. I got their IDs. One of the Venezuelan guys actually had a work permit. I think they were seeking asylum, so they let him come here. And I took all his information, his phone number, wrote it down, made a contract. We both signed on the dotted line, make sure all the T's were crossed, all the I's were dotted, and it was a done deal. They took the keys, so off they go. They were excited, they were ready to go work and pay off the car, and that was our agreement. All of a sudden, you guys ever heard the saying, expect the unexpected? Well, I always like to see the good in people, and this is what I saw in these 3 men. I was like, man, these are good guys. They're trying to get their life right, but, and this is a big but, let's fast forward to 6 months later. You know, it's time for that first payment. I call him up. I'm like, hey, brother, 6 months is up. Part of the agreement, I'm calling you up to see how we're going to arrange the first payment. He starts with a little moment of silence, and I'm like, we're having a hard time, you know, holding a job. Could you give us some more time? So I'm like, well, you know what? Sure, I don't need the money right now. The car was just in my driveway. Sure, I'll go ahead and give you not 1, not 2, but 3 months. 3 months later, I go ahead and send him a message. Hey, brother, how you doing? Hope you're well. Give me a call. 5 days later, no reply, no nothing. Now, y'all knew something sketchy right about now. I was like, you know what? No problem. Maybe they forgot to reply. Hey, brother, ... Can you call me when you get a chance? Period. Send. All right? So 3 days later, they replied. He was like, I'm so sorry, been busy with work. I'm trying to finish these jobs so I can get paid, and I'll go ahead and send your money. I was like, cool, no problem. Let's just make sure that we stay on track. And the key to all this is communication. So he says, give me 2 weeks. I'll have a check and I'll go ahead and send you $400. I'm like, bet, say nothing else. So 2 weeks later, I go ahead and call the guy and he picks up. He's like, hey man, I'm so sorry. Something came up. One of my aunts had a medical emergency, so I had to use the money that I got to go ahead and help her out. She needs medication. I was like, you know what? I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry to hear that. I'll get with you in 2 weeks after this whole situation cools down and we'll talk. Fast forward to a couple months later. I still haven't got a payment. Things are looking sketchy as heck. I sent him a couple more messages. Maybe I think I sent him like 7 messages in total within the span of a week because I had no reply. And I didn't get a single reply. Now y'all know things are about to get ugly. So I'm calling, I'm texting, nothing. And all of a sudden, I remember that I think I saw their number pop up on, what's that website where all my Hispanic people use? WhatsApp. Yes, WhatsApp. I opened WhatsApp and I saw the guy's name on there. It had his number, his contact information. I text him and he says, oh, I'm so sorry. The company that I was with, it wasn't working for me, so I switched numbers. I'm like, I'm like, all right, fool, whatever, where's my money? And they're like, oh man, I'm so sorry. You know, we've been looking for a job and we just found one, so in 2 weeks we'll get paid. I was like, okay, brother. I don't want to do this, man, but I'm going to give you 2 weeks so I can get a payment. And if I don't get a payment in 2 weeks, man, I'm going to start talking about repossession. That's right, repo. Okay, so my mother-in-law, she calls me one day and she says, hey, I got to talk to you. So I pick up the phone and she's like, hey, so the guys that you sold the car to, I got in touch with their aunt. I was like, oh, their aunt, okay. All right, I'm listening. So she tells me that these fools, excuse my language, they apparently had robbed their aunt for a couple $1,000s. So the way they robbed their aunt was they needed some money, and their aunt, out of the goodness of her heart, she ended up selling all her cattle in order to fund these men and their trip to the United States. So yeah, that's so sad to say, but that's exactly what happened. We got it from the first-hand source. Her aunt, yeah, the one that sold the stuff and lost all that money, yeah. When it came time to pay, they fled Venezuela to Houston. They had a little pattern going, and it was not only their aunt, it was a couple of other family members that they had done this to. So all of a sudden, I started getting a little angry. I sent him a message. I was like, hey, bro, I'm gonna need my car back. Otherwise, I'm gonna get the authorities involved. I don't need an explanation. I just need my keys, my car, and we'll call it a day like nothing ever happened. The guy ends up sending a payment, 400 bucks. I'm like, woo! I kind of scared him that first time I talked. Cause I told him, hey man, I'm gonna get authorities involved. I'm gonna get everything. And he was still with the case, trying to get his residency. So after that first payment came in, I was like, all right, baby, I got you. You can order anything from McDonald's. It's on me. All right, so the next month comes around, I'm like, all right, these guys are about to send me 400 bucks. I call the guy, I'm like, hey man, let me know when you're gonna send the money. He's like, okay, I'll send the money at midnight. All of a sudden, midnight comes, I'm like, hey, whenever you're ready. Sure enough, they don't reply. So I'm like, hey bro, didn't get the payment. He's like, oh, you did it? Let me check. He checks, he says, sorry bro, it looks like it didn't go through. I'll send it tomorrow. I'm like, okay, bro, just make sure you send it tomorrow. So let's fast forward to 2 weeks. After that message, he said, I'll send it tomorrow. He never replied after that. I can't get a hold of him. And let's fast forward 3 more months. So by this time, I'm not getting any response. I'm not getting any replies. I'm like, oh man, I'm done with these dudes. I don't wanna, I just want my car back. I wanna pretend this never happened. So I sent him a big, long message, and there was some, I wouldn't call it threats, but there were some friendly words that were said. So I sent him a message and it sounded a little bit like this. I was like, hey bro, I don't care what's happening. I don't care what's going on. I need my car back. No ands or buts. I'm gonna go pick it up. Let me know where it's at. And if you don't, I'm gonna get the police involved. I'm gonna get a lawyer, and this is gonna hurt your case because I know you're trying to get a residency here, and I'm gonna make sure that I file charges, blah, 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 blah. So by the end of the message, I'm like, hey, I wish you the best, no hard feelings. And I send a message. And this guy, he replies and he says, I'm so sorry. I'm so embarrassed. I just need another week. So I was like, no. Fool me once? No. Fool me twice? Heck no. You ain't getting nothing. I told him, hey, go ahead and send me an address to pick up, and that's it. So this is where it takes a turn. The guy, he ghosted me for 6 months. I couldn't get a hold of him nowhere, anywhere, no platform. So I'm like, you know what? Let me get in contact with some friends. They tell me basically if you call the cops, they can't really do anything because I guess these kind of cases, they're not as serious. I can report it stolen, and if they find it, they'll pick it up, and I just show proof and get my car back. Sorry, another 5 months passed, and randomly, I'm not even thinking about the car anymore. I'm like, you know what? I guess I lost the car. It happens in the car industry when you sell cars. Sometimes you got good sales, sometimes you got bad sales. You got good buyers, bad sales, you got thieves, people waiting to take advantage of somebody that's trying to help them out. So randomly he hits me up and he says, hey man, I got busy, I haven't been able to call you back. They ended up pulling my cousin over. He was driving the car in Dallas. I'm like, Dallas? Bro, you're supposed to be in Houston. Houston! So he's like, yeah, I left the car with my cousin. He's been using it for work purposes. And I'm scratching my head, I'm confused. Y'all guys ready? This is what he tells me. He's like, hey, I moved to Florida. I'm like, okay, let's pause it, man, let's pause it. He's like, yeah, my cousin needed a car, so I left it there with him. I came to Florida because of a job opportunity. And then he says, well, the reason why I'm calling you is because my cousin got pulled over and the cops have him detained. And they're saying that the car plate don't match with the car. I'm like, and I'm just like, really? And he's like, yeah, they have him detained and they're not gonna let him go until he shows proof that I sold him the car. And get this, the car didn't even have an inspection sticker. I'm like, really? So I'm waiting for 20 minutes. Finally, the guy that I sold the car to, he's like, hey, the cops let him go. I'm like, oh, no. What I was hoping for is that they impounded the car and I go to the impound, pick up the car, and I get my car back. But the police officers let him go without registration, the right plates on the car. He's not even a citizen. He don't even have a driver's license. Would you guys have been furious? Okay, so the guy's like, hey, I'm gonna call you back in 10 minutes. 10 minutes? I'm still waiting. It's been 365,000 hours since he last contacted me. So after that, he kind of ghosted me again. I'm over here sending friendly threats. I'm saying, hey, I'm about to report you. I know where you're at. I didn't really know where he was at. So get this, the other day, watching my wife and her investigation skills, she can find anybody, she'll find you. I went online and I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can pull this guy's information. It's for everybody to see apparently. So I went and I typed in his phone number and all of a sudden, some information came up in Florida. I was like, hold up. So I know where the guy lives. He doesn't have my car. I was trying to track his cousin down because his cousin's the actual one that has a car. Now, whenever he got pulled over, I forgot to mention, the guy that I sold the car to, he sent me the citation and it has the guy's actual name on there. Now it didn't have an address or a phone number, but at least it had the name of the guy who was driving the car, also the name of the officer who pulled him over. So I was like, maybe I can call the county and maybe talk to the department or the officer that pulled him over. Maybe he has an address. I don't know, I just thought about it. But yeah, I just kind of left it alone. I was like, you know what? Let me find the title to the car, because at this point I bought the car from a dealership and they still hadn't been able to give me the title. So I didn't have a personal title for myself. So if I do report the car stolen, they're gonna want proof, which is the title, and I don't have it, but I will. So after this whole situation is over, these guys are scared. They're like, hey, I need to take care of the issue. How can we fix it so I can drive the car legally? I'm like, first of all, I need my car back. There ain't no fixing, there ain't no inspection or nothing like that. Give me my car, bro. We're done. And this guy says, hey, I can't give you the car back. And this is where it gets a little sketchy. The guy tells me that his cousin wants $1,500 from him if he wants the car back. So the guy I sold the car to ended up selling the car to his cousin, which ended up keeping it, and he went to Florida. Yeah, plot twist. So he says, hey, I can't get the car back until I pay my cousin $1,500. I don't have $1,500. Good luck, bro, because I'm about to send every cop in the county to you. My car's about to get repoed. I was even thinking about going and getting my brothers and a trailer and finding the guys. So social media family, help me get my car back. Guys, what would you do if you were my situation? Now, I don't have the title to the car, but I do know where the guy that I sold the car to lives. I don't know where his cousin's at or the car, which is somewhere around San Antonio, Dallas area. Let me know what you would do. I want all your advices down in the comments below. If you guys have been through a similar situation, give it to me. I'm ready to hear it. I want to know how I can get my car back after 2 years and get this situation situated. Now, if you guys want to be a part of this rescue mission and help find the stolen car, and you find it in your heart to give, then I'm gonna go ahead and leave my Cash App. That way you can go ahead and send some money, because these plane tickets ain't cheap. With your $1 a day, we're gonna go ahead and save up enough money to go and fly to Florida and confront these thieves. That way we can bring them to justice and this doesn't happen to anybody else. Nobody else is posting the same video, this with a different car. As always, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned in case there's a part 2 where we find the guy, we bring him to justice, he gets arrested, he goes to jail, the works. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next one.